1866 for Light by Aaron Twilling. Uncomfortable? Imagine how a child must feel. According to the Ark of Hope for Children, 40 million children suffer child abuse each year worldwide. Child sexual abuse is oftentimes ignored because no one wants to talk about it. However, child molestation affects an innumerable amount of people, including those who are unreported. Before I was even a teenager, someone who I share the same blood with had taken my childhood away. He had molested me every single day for years. Some days he would come into my room at night. Sometimes he would share a blanket with me while we were having movie time with the rest of the family. He even took it as far as violating me in a swimming pool at a family pool party. I couldn't even ask for help with my homework anymore, at least not from my brother, who I believed was a genius. I kept this awful secret to myself because I was scared of what the rest of the family would think of me. I became depressed and began to self harm. No one ever questioned why I would wear hoodies in the heat of the Louisiana summer. No one wanted to change what was normal. I ended up telling a friend after I made her swear her secrecy. She then confided in her mom because she wanted to help me. Her mom came to me and let me know how much she loved me and to make sure that I knew that this would never happen again. I was scared, but for the first time in a while, I felt like I had someone that I could trust. Although her mom did everything right, it didn't take long before I was on my own again. I hated my friend for telling her mom, and I hated her mom for making me tell my own. I never received the same love and support from my own mother that I did from my friend's mom. But who wants to see their son in jail, right? My mother, being the wicked person that she is, decided to turn everyone against me and convince them that I was lying. Even though my rapist had admitted that what he had done, I was the liar. Everyone needs someone to be there for them. No one should feel alone. If you pay attention, you'll be able to help someone if you are ever put into a situation where a child that you know is being abused and crying out for help. In order to protect children from predators, I will begin by defining and explaining what child abuse is and explaining the warning signs. Then, I'll tell you some effects. Lastly, about the long road to healing. On dictionary.com, child abuse is defined as physical maltreatment or sexual abuse of a child. There are many forms of child abuse. One form is child sexual abuse, also known as child molestation. On the child sexual abuse article on RAINN.org, child molestation is defined as exposing oneself to a child, fondling intercourse, masturbating in the presence of a child or forcing a minor to masturbate, obscene phone calls, text messages, and digital interaction, producing, owning, sharing pornographic images or movies of children, any form of sex including vaginal, oral, and anal, sex trafficking, and any other sexual conduct that will cause harm to a child's mental, emotional, or physical welfare. Even though child molestation is hard to detect, the article's Effects of Child Abuse on Victims and Warning Signs for Young Children lists some signs of child sexual abuse. One form of sign is physical, which can include trauma, STIs, torn or bloody clothing, and depression. There's also behavioral signs such as sexual behaviors, knowledge on sexual topics, attempts to avoid a certain person, bedwetting, refusing to bathe, and resuming childlike behaviors. The sites also list signs from predators, which can include an adult not respecting any boundaries and becoming too friendly with a child to where it is no longer age appropriate. It also says that the adult can make up excuses to be alone with the child constantly. Also, an adult who tends to sexualize normal behaviors. Some effects of child sexual abuse will be the same as the signs, such as the depression and the signs of the victim, like the behavioral and physical. Although some of the effects are labeled as short term and long term, every survivor is different and how they react will be different as well. Some effects include depression, changes in hygiene, and nightmares. There is also suicidal behavior, STIs, PTSD, self destructive behaviors, and drug abuse. According to the article, A Healthy Place, you can spend a lifetime trying to forget a few minutes of your childhood. Healing from this trauma is very critical, and not every victim will succeed. Since every survivor is different, their form of healing is different as well. Since there is no set way to heal, their processes aren't really understood. However, being heard is essential in a survivor's healing. Not every child will speak up, and if one does, realize that that child has came to you, the adult that they trust, after someone has just betrayed them. If you do not believe them and take action, they may not think that anyone else will believe them and keep this trauma to themselves. The article, Can a Child Recover from Sexual Abuse, states that more than ever, your child needs to know that you believe in them and that they can trust and count on you. By acknowledging the harm that was done to your child and by taking steps to protect them, you'll be helping your child reestablish a sense of trust and safety. Your child needs to know that this was not their fault. You should talk to your child and let them know that you trust them and you love them and you support them. You should also assure your child's safety and consider treatment. Healing from any form of trauma will not happen overnight. It's a long road of trials and tribulations. Some people take longer than others, and some may never find their peace, but there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There are many signs of child sexual abuse, and if there's any suspicion that this crime has taken place, do not hesitate to report the situation. Anyone who abuses someone is not okay. They are sick, and action should be taken immediately before that person strikes again. And as for the child who has been abused, they should know that they are not alone, and there is peace within their own healing. In the last few minutes, I have discussed and defined what child abuse is and explained the warning signs. I have also gave you a list of some effects and the keys to healing. The next time that you think discussing child sexual abuse is uncomfortable, imagine how the child feels.